Dear learners, previously we have studied the botanical garden, their introduction, types, and their different section, how they contributing to our life. So what are the major roles of botanical garden in taxonomic studies? Today we will learn about this aspect of botanical garden. So botanical garden, as we have discussed, play a crucial role in taxonomic studies, which is the scientific discipline that is dedicated to the classification, identification and naming of organisms. And these gardens serve as a living repositories of plant species and offering invaluable resources for researchers, educators and conservators. Like by these gardens serve as a living repositories for plant species, offering invaluable resources for researchers, educators and conservationists alike. So by housing extensive plant collection, botanical garden provide an essential reference material for taxonomists working to understand the plant diversity. These gardens are not only sites for studying and documenting plant species, but also play an active role in supporting research and conservation efforts and public education. So now look at some of the key ways of botanical gardens to contribute, that is the taxonomy. So one of the key roles of botanical garden in preserving plant diversity, like these garden house a vast array of plant species from all over the world, including rare, endangered and endemic species. This incredible diversity in the essential for taxonomic studies, and it provides researcher with living specimen to study, compare and classify. For example, the Royal Botanical Garden at Kew in the UK and the Missouri Botanical Garden in USA maintain a range and diverse collection of plant species. These collections are especially important for taxonomic research, particularly for species that are difficult to find in the wild. So by preserving these plants in controlled environment, botanical garden ensures the researchers have access to critical specimens for study and comparison, and these gardens are playing a very important role in this particular collection of the different plants. Like Royal Botanical Garden is one of the largest botanical garden of the world that we will study in our next session of the important botanical garden of the world. And due to the presence of a number of plant species, they are providing a number of plants to the botanists for their study. Then another crucial role of botanical garden. The other crucial role of botanical gardens that play in taxonomy is providing access to the herbarium specimens. Like many botanical gardens that collaborate with the maintain associated herbaria, which are collection of preserved plant specimens, and these herbarium specimens are vital for identifying and classifying plants and ensuring that taxonomic data remains accurate and up to date. Like example, many botanical gardens that maintain extensive herbarium collection that are used for taxonomists to verify plant identification, identify new species or resolve taxonomic ambiguities, and these herbarium are now invaluable resource for ensuring the precision and reliability of plant classification and furthering our understanding of plant diversity. Then botanical garden play also a very important role in supporting taxonomic research and documentation. Like they provide controlled environment where researchers can grow plants and study their morphology, development and reproductive biology. So this control setting is particularly valuable for taxonomic revision or reclassification, as it allows researchers to discover new or previously overlooked characteristics of a plant. So for example, many botanical gardens like publish or support the publication of taxonomic monographs, identification guides and checklists. So these resources provide detailed classification of plants, species in their collection that help taxonomists accurately document and classify plants. And these publications are essential tool for advancing our knowledge of plant diversity and ensuring the accurate plant identification. Then botanical gardens are also a vital centers for education outreach and public awareness. They raise awareness about plant diversity and taxonomy by offering exhibits and tours, educational programs. These programs help to inform visitors about the importance of plant classification, conservation and how botanical garden contribute to preserving plant diversity. For example, public education program at botanical garden often include workshop or exhibition on the plant taxonomy. These programs teach the public about the process of plant identification and classification, as well as the role of botanical garden play in safeguarding the plant diversity for future generations. Botanical garden play a critical role in conservation of endangered and threatened plant species. Like many gardens are involved in ex situ conservation, which means conserving species outside their natural habitat. As I have discussed earlier, there are many botanical garden has some section like greenhouses or glass houses. These condition have a controlled environmental condition, so in this we can grow a plant that is not suitable for the growing in that particular region. So by cultivating these plants, we can conserve the species. So by cultivating rare or endangered species in their collection, botanical garden provide a safe space for taxonomists to study and document plant at risk of extinction and species that might be difficult to study in the wild. Like for example, garden like the Singapore Botanical Garden and Kew Garden focus on conserving endangered plants while also studying their taxonomy. So this research helped to improve the conservation strategies and ensuring that these plants have a better chance of survival both in gardens as well as in the wild. Beside this, botanical gardens also play a key role in facilitating international collaborations, and they often collaborate with the global research institutions like universities, conservation organizations, and providing a network for the exchange of taxonomic knowledge and resources. This international cooperation on a global scale that advancing our plant research and conservation efforts. So for example, many botanical gardens participate in global databases such as Plant List or the International Plant Name Index, that is IPNI. These databases compile taxonomic information about plants from around the world, ensuring that plants nomenclature is updated and standardized. And by contributing to these resources, botanical gardens help to maintain the consistency in plant classification and supporting the broader scientific community. Then botanical garden also play an important role in supporting the discovery of a new species. Like taxonomists working in these gardens often come across previously known species while cataloging and studying these plant in their collection. As a result, botanical garden can serve as a hotspot for the discovery and description of new plant species. For example, many new plant species have been discovered in botanical garden, especially in regions with rich biodiversity. And the botanical garden are safe and controlled environment where newly discovered species can be carefully studied, classified, and documented, contributing to the expansion of our knowledge of plant diversity. Then botanical garden also provide the ideal setting for studying plant evolution, phylogeny, and genetic relationship between the species. The taxonomists use molecular techniques to examine plant genetics, which help to clarify relationship between the plant species that may not be immediately obvious from their physical appearance alone. So, for example, botanical garden often support molecular and genetic research, which play a crucial role in improving our understanding of plant evolutionary relationship. And this research is essential for modern taxonomic classification, that allowing scientists to refine how species are grouped and classified based on their genetic makeup rather than just their on the morphology. Besides this, botanical gardens are vital in scientific research, public education, and environmental conservation. They serve as a key functions contributing to our understanding of plants and biodiversity protection, that we will discuss all these now. Like botanical gardens as living laboratories, offering a wealth of opportunities for scientific research. They house a diverse range of plant species including rare, endangered and exotic plants, and this makes them individual resources for researchers studying diverse and conservation. And this makes them invaluable resources for researchers studying plant diversity and conservation. And these gardens provide a controlled environments where researchers can study plant growth, development, their reproduction, and how plants respond to various environmental factors. This control setting is essential for understanding plant biology more systematically and in detail. Botanical gardens also play a crucial role in taxonomy and plant classification. They provide living specimens that taxonomists use for identifying species, classifying plants, and studying the relationship between the different plant groups. In addition to taxonomy, botanical gardens are places for experimental research, and they allow scientists to experimental with plant breeding, propagation, techniques, and assess how environmental changes such as climate change affect plant health. And these experiments are vital for developing new methods to protect plant and ensure their survival in changing conditions. Besides this, botanical gardens also play an essential role in ecological studies by simulating the natural habitats and providing valuable insights into the plant ecology. Researchers can observe how plants interact with each other and their environment, helping to understand the ecosystem dynamics and plant behavior in different ecological settings. These gardens also serve as a key centers for conservation biology. They protect indigenous plant species through ex situ conservation and offering a safe space where rare plant can thrive and conservation studies can be developed to ensure their survival in the wild. So in addition to the research and conservation roles, the botanical garden are important educational resources. They serve as a living, learn about the they serve as a living classrooms where student researchers and general public can learn about the science and biodiversity through hands-on experience and direct interaction with the plants. And finally, botanical gardens engage the public through the educational exhibits, programs, and workshops. So, these initiatives promote awareness about the plants conservation, taxonomy, and the importance of biodiversity, inspiring visitors to appreciate and protect the natural world. And there is also urgency of conservation efforts has never been more pressing because human activities such as habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change are typically threatening the human activities such as habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change are rapidly threatening plant and animal species. As a result, conservation and preserving have become a critical of prevent species from going extinct. So conservation focuses on protecting species in their natural habitats and addressing threats like habitat loss and overexploitation. So this approach aims to maintain healthy ecosystem and ensure that species can thrive in their native environment. Then preserving on the other hand involving protecting species in controlled environments such as botanical garden, wildlife reserves and zoos. These spaces provide a safe haven for the indigenous species and preventing extinction and facilitating the breeding and restoration efforts. So one of the important aspects of preserving is ex situ conservation, which refers to the conserving species outside their natural habitats. And botanical gardens, zoos and seed banks play a critical role in this form of conservation by maintaining a living collection and genetic diversity to help the restore population in the wild. In situ conservation, which focuses on protecting species in their natural habitat. So this approach ensures that the ecosystem remain intact and functional, allowing plants and animals to thrive in their environmental where they have evolved. So by protecting natural habitat, we help to maintain the delicate balance of nature. And the public education plays a crucial role in conservation efforts. And raising awareness about indigenous species and importance of protecting them is key to engaging communities and inspiring action. So educating the people helps the people understand the significance of biodiversity and the need of immediate conservation measures. And the protecting indigenous species is also vital for maintaining ecological balance and the species are interconnected with ecosystem, and when one species is threatened, it can disturb the health and stability of entire ecosystem. So healthy ecosystems are essential not only for wildlife but also for human survival as they provide vital services like clean air, water and food. So successful conservation efforts require collaboration, government, non-government organizations, local communities and researchers must work together to develop and implement effective protection. Non-government organizations, local communities and researchers must work together to develop and implement effective strategies. By pooling resources, knowledge and expertise, we can create a more sustainable future for our for endangered species and their habitats. So it is very important to collaborate at every level, and we can, as we have learned earlier, that we can uh, aware the people by the exhibition at the botanical gardens. So it is very important to educate the people through the botanical garden and exhibition. Like in the case study, the Royal Botanical Garden in Kew, one of the leading examples of a botanical garden making a global impact in the uh, world. A Kew, one of the world's foremost botanical institute, and it plays a central role in plant conservation, research, and education. Through its effort, Kew has become a global leader in preserving plant diversity and sharing knowledge with the world. Like the garden at Kew and has an impressive collection of over 50,000 plant species. This includes living collections, herbarium specimens and seed banks. So this includes the all of this supports global. The garden at Kew house in The garden at Kew houses an impressive collection of over 50,000 plant species. This include living collection, herbarium specimen and seed banks. And all of these supports global plant diversity and provide critical resources for scientific research and conservation efforts. So Kew conservation efforts are extensive and cover both ex situ and in situ approaches. Like in terms of ex situ conservation, Kew cultivates a rare and endangered species within the garden itself and its seed banks, ensuring that these plants are preserved for future generation. Additionally, Kew also involved in the in situ conservation that supports the protection of species in their natural habitat through a variety of international projects. By working on both fronts, Kew contributes significantly to the global effort to conserve plant species and ecosystem. So Kew is not only a center for plant conservation but also a hub for scientific research. Kew scientists conduct cutting-edge research in a variety of areas including plant taxonomy, ecology and conservation biology. So their work helped to deepen our understanding of plant species and the ecosystem they inhabit, contributing to more effective conservation strategies. And in addition to its internal research, Kew plays an important role in international collaboration. Like the institution works closely with the global organization, governments and conservation groups to protect plant species and ecosystem around the world. These partnerships allow Kew to share expertise, resources and knowledge, ensuring that the conservation efforts have a broader and more lasting impact. Kew also offers extensive public education programs, that exhibitions and events. These initiatives aim to raise awareness about the importance of plant conservation and the need to protect the biodiversity. So, by educating the public, Kew inspires individuals to take action in their own communities and contributing to a global movement to conserve our planet's life and the plants. Q also a strong uh, Q is also a strong advocate for sustainability and responsible for the use of plants. Q is also a strong advocate of sustainability and the responsible use of plants. Like the institution emphasizes the importance of sustainable plant use and biodiversity conservation with focus on ensuring the long-term ecological stability. Through its program and research, Q helps to promote the practices that balance human needs with their health of ecosystem. In addition to its conservation and sustainability work, Q makes vital resources and support for the taxonomics and ecologists, playing a key role in classifying and documenting plant species from around the world. So by offering living collection, herbarium, specimens and research tool, Q enables researchers to better understand the plant diversity and advance the science of taxonomy. So here in this session we have discussed about the botanical gardens, their types. So in this session we have learned about what are the botanical garden, their different types of section, their types, their roles in different. In this session we have learned about the typically a botanical garden and their importance, how they are important in our life. They are because they are providing a number of programs to aware the people, and they are also botanical gardens serve as a center for a ex situ conservation as well as public awareness programs. So it is a very important aspect to learn about the botanical garden, and it also providing a different plants for the different works. That is a very important for the taxonomist, ecologist as well as the conservation strategies. So botanical garden are very important source of study materials for the all. Thank you all of you for joining this session. Thank you all.